Okay, बच्चा पार्टी वी विल स्टार्ट विथ क्वांटम थियरी ऑफ रेडिएशन. तो भाई साहब व्हाट इज क्वांटम थियरी? ठीक है, व्हाट इज क्वांटम थियरी बच्चा पार्टी? जब हम स्मॉल पार्टिकल्स के वेरी वेरी सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स, इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन, न्यूट्रॉन, ऐसे पार्टिकल्स के बारे में पढ़ते हैं या उनके मोशन के बारे में पढ़ते हैं तो हम उसको बोलते हैं क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स. ठीक है, देखो आपके दो चीजें हैं. एक है आपका भाई साहब न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स. ठीक है, न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स मतलब क्या है? जिन बॉडी का साइज कंपैरेटिवली बड़ा है, एक छोटा सा बॉल हो गया या जिसको यू कैन सी बेसिकली. ठीक है, तो इस पे जितने भी लॉज एप्लीकेबल होते हैं, फोर्स इज इक्वल टू मास इनटू एक्सेलरेशन, जो कैलकुलेशंस आप करते हैं फाइनल वेलोसिटी के लिए, ये सारे भाई साहब आपके न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स में आ जाते हैं. ठीक है, न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स के ये सारे पार्ट हो जाते हैं. लेकिन इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रोटॉन के मूवमेंट जो हैं वो न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स को फॉलो नहीं करते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि कल हमने देखा कि भाई साहब इनका ना ऐसे मोशन नहीं होगा. ठीक है, इनका मोशन होगा जैसे इलेक्ट्रॉन का मोशन भाई साहब ऐसे होगा. सो मतलब यहां पे क्या है, पार्टिकल नेचर भी है और वेव नेचर भी है. ठीक है, सो एक दोहरा स्वभाव जिसको हम बोलते हैं, डुअल नेचर. ठीक है, इट इज बेसिकली डुअल नेचर. बच्चा पार्टी ये समझ में आ रहा है? ड्यूअल नेचर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोमैग्नेटिक रेडिएशन, ये हमने पढ़ा क्यों? क्योंकि ये समझने के लिए कि इन पार्टिकल्स का जो मोशन है दैट विल बी डुअल. डुअल मींस दोहरा स्वभाव है. पार्टिकल नेचर भी है और वेव नेचर भी है. पार्टिकल की तरह भी मूव करेगा और वेव की तरह भी मूव करेगा. मतलब जैसे अगर आपने भाई साहब समझो एक बैट्समैन ने 6 मारा. ठीक है, सो अभी भाई साहब बॉल ऐसे जा रही है, ये क्या हो गया? सो लेट्स से भाई साहब बॉल ऐसे जा रही है ना, 6 मारा. आप देख रहे हैं भाई साहब बैट्समैन ने यहां से मारा और ये स्टेडियम के इधर जाकर गिरा. ठीक है, ये आपको क्लियर मोशन दिख रहा है. लेकिन ये जो है ये न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स को फॉलो कर रहा है. ठीक है, न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स को. अगर यही चीज एक इलेक्ट्रॉन और प्रोटॉन की होती तो भाई साहब ये ऐसे जाता था, ऐसे जाता था. तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है? देखो पार्टिकल नेचर भी हो रहा है और आपका वेव नेचर भी हो रहा है. आर वी क्लियर ऑन दिस वन पीपल? हम ठीक है. सो मैक्रोस्कोपिक जो पार्टिकल्स है, जो माइक्रोस्कोपिक पार्टिकल्स हैं जिनको आप सिर्फ इलेक्ट्रॉन माइक्रोस्कोप के नीचे ही देख सकते हैं, ये सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स हैं. दीज आर बेसिकली सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स बच्चा पार्टी. सो दीज सब एटॉमिक पार्टिकल्स में भाई साहब जो मोशन होगा, इस मोशन को अपन भाई साहब क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में स्टडी करते हैं, ना कि न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स में. न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स के लॉज इसमें अप्लाई नहीं होंगे. ठीक है, न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स मतलब न्यूटन ने जो भी मोशन के बारे में लॉ दिया है जो आज तक वैलिड है, इट विल नॉट बी एप्लीकेबल हियर. आर वी क्लियर ऑन दिस वन? बहुत बढ़िया. ठीक है, ओके. सो मैक्स प्लैंक proposed the quantum hypothesis of radiation. So what did he say? और जिसके चलते जो रदरफोर्ड का मॉडल है वो फेल हुआ. Not a complete failure, but Rutherford's design was not able to explain Max Planck's confusion. ठीक है, so what is Rutherford saying बच्चा बाड़ी? Rutherford is saying कि भाई देखो, this is basically let's say the nucleus and let's say the electron is revolving around the nucleus. Okay, this is basically an orbit. Let's say we have another orbit, so let's take this as another orbit. ठीक है, so these are orbits on which electrons are revolving. Okay, so let's say this is basically the nucleus. So Rutherford said that there is a huge amount of space inside the nucleus, which is valid. Okay, which is valid. So there is a lot of empty space. This is the nucleus wherein it will have protons and neutrons. These electrons are revolving in these orbits. Okay, now Max Planck is saying that when an electron is moving or when any charged particle, when it is undergoing what? Accelerated motion. Any charged particle when it is undergoing accelerated motion, it will emit radiations. An accelerated charged particle will emit radiations. And if it is emitting radiation, so electron, is it a charged particle? Answer is yes. Okay, electron definitely is a charged particle. When it is revolving, will it emit radiations? Obviously yes, since it's a charged particle. Any circular motion is basically an accelerated motion. Any circular motion is an accelerated motion. So when an electron is revolving in an orbit, is it performing an accelerated motion? Yes. Okay, so if it is performing an accelerated motion, is it going to radiate energy? Yes. If it is going to radiate energy means it is going to lose energy. If it is going to lose energy, it will not be able to follow this path. What will happen is that it will follow a spiral path. So spiral path, it is going to so it is going to follow a spiral path like this, and finally fall into the nucleus. The radius is going to considerably decrease with each rotation, and is going to follow a spiral path and fall into the nucleus. So when it falls into the nucleus, it will obviously get null with the proton. Proton and electron will basically be zero. If it is going to be zero, atom will cease to exist, but atoms are existing. So this theory of Maxwell was correct, and the theory of Rutherford was also correct. However, Rutherford was not able to explain as to how the electron is able to sustain itself in this journey. Why is it not forming a spiral path and falling into the nucleus? Okay, so in that case, it was suggested by Bohr that all these energy shells that you see in which electrons are moving, these are fixed energy levels. Fixed energy levels means that if the electron is basically moving in this energy level, till the time it is moving in this energy level, it's not going to lose its energy till the time. Now let's say if there is an in-between energy level, if the electron moves here, then it is going to lose energy. Okay, so on each electron's track, let's say K, L, M, so these are basically fixed tracks that you have. If the electron is revolving in these tracks, it is not going to lose energy. The moment it is jumping into another track or coming down from another track, it's going to emit radiations. Okay, so electrons are going to emit radiations only if they happen to jump into a higher track or fall from a higher track to a lower track. Then only they are going to, in this case it will gain energy, in this case it is going to lose energy. Till the time the electron is in its home means in its stationary orbit, it's not going to either emit energy nor gain energy, nothing. It's going to just move around. Okay, so we are going to look at all these aspects here. Max Planck proposed the quantum hypothesis of radiation. Now what does this quantum hypothesis state? That radiant energy such as heat is not emitted continuously but discrete as small packets of energy known as quanta. Okay, so these are basically small packets of energy. So as I said, there is a segregation of scientific communities. One scientific community specifically believes that light is basically or any electromagnetic radiation is a result of wave motion, and there is a set of scientists who believe that all electromagnetic radiations are a result of particle motion. Okay, so Maxwell belongs to the community wherein it is believed that it is basically what? A particle motion. Okay, it is a particle motion. Planck gave the quantum, that is the smallest quantity of energy. So he gave the smallest quantity of energy that can be emitted or absorbed in the form of electromagnetic radiation. So according to Planck, very important formula bachcha pati, energy is equal to H, which is basically what? Planck's constant into frequency. Energy or of a quantum of radiation is proportional to its frequency. Very important, people. Energy is equal to Max Planck into its frequency. Okay, so Planck's constant is how much? Is equal to 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. This is Max Planck's constant. This is going to be applicable for all values. 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules seconds, that is Max Planck. Now the total energy, this is number of the quanta. It will always be an integral multiple of HV. Okay, so the total energy will always be n h into frequency, where n has a value of either 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. Now understand this, people, n will never have a value of 0.15 or 1.25. n will always have only these values. So n will be basically a set of whole numbers. N will always be a set of whole numbers. Are we clear on this one, people? Okay, so this is what Max Planck said. Very important formula, E is equal to H into V. So E is equal to H into V, which means E is equal to H, that is Planck's constant, into V, that is frequency. Are we absolutely clear on this one, people? Okay. So according to the wave theory, bacha badi, according to the wave theory, the light electromagnetic radiation emitted by an object is a wave form and is continuous. Okay, so it is basically continuous, a wave form. So this is basically, light, we already have understood that light is considered to have a dual nature, or any electromagnetic radiation. See, light, the visible light that we see is just a part of the entire electromagnetic spectrum that we happened to see yesterday. So the entire electromagnetic spectrum is made up of radio waves, cosmic waves and whatnot. Okay, so light is a very small portion of it. The visible light is from anywhere between 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer, a very small portion of the electromagnetic waves, radio waves, cosmic waves, infrared waves, ultraviolet waves, all these are electromagnetic radiations. Okay, electromagnetic radiations means that they will have an electric field as well as a magnetic field, which are both perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. They are both perpendicular to each other as well as perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Now Planck suggested that light is emitted in the form of small packets of energy known as quantum. All these packets are basically known as quantum. Are we clear on this one? Quantum, that is, light exists in discrete or discontinuous quanta of energy known as photons. These are known as photons. Okay, so continuous packets of energy. Light is emitted in the form of small packets of energy known as quantum, that is, light exists in discrete or discontinuous quanta of energy. So this is how Planck's theory is. Okay, light has got a wave theory. Planck doesn't support this wave theory. Okay, Max Planck, Newton, Einstein, they have always gone with the particle theory of light. Scientists like Huygens, Thomas Young, all these have basically gone with particle wave theory of light. So if we look at it, light has got dual nature. Light has got dual nature. One is basically the wave theory and the other one is particle. Okay, so the particle nature phenomena like wave theory explains phenomena like diffraction. Yesterday we have seen it. It explains a phenomena like interference. Then it also explains phenomena like polarization. Okay, particle nature explains phenomena like photoelectric effect. Then it also explains phenomena like black body radiation. These are things which are explained by particle nature of light. The scientists who actually are confirming particle nature of light is Newton, who first proposed the corpuscular theory of light. Then we have Einstein, then we have Max Planck. All these people basically support the particle nature of light. Wave nature of light is supported by Huygens. He performed the famous Young's doubles. Then we have Young. Okay, all these people basically, Huygens was the first person to actually explain that light travels in the form of wave fronts. And then we have Young, who actually carried out double slit experiments. So all these are things which you are going to study in higher classes, maybe in the 12th standard. Okay, but for the time being, just understand that Max Planck suggested that these are small packets of energy. You see this? These are small packets of energy, and light travels in these formats of energy. These are small packets of energy which are also known as quanta, and these are discontinuous or discrete, like balls of energy. Okay, so light is basically traveling in the form of small packets. These packets are known as quanta. These are discrete. Okay, and energy is equal to what? H into V. Okay, H is basically Planck's constant. Yesterday we have seen frequency. Frequency is what? Frequency can be expressed as 1 by time period, or else C is equal to lambda into frequency. That is something that we have seen yesterday. Okay, so we can say that frequency is equal to velocity of light upon wavelength of the particular wavelength of the particular segment that you have chosen. Okay, are we clear on this one, people? Okay. Bottom line is, Planck suggested that light travels in the form of small packets of energy. These packets of energy are known as quanta, and energy is equal to H into frequency. H is Planck's constant, which has a value of 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule seconds, and the frequency of course depends upon the wavelength of the light that you are trying to use. Okay, alright. So frequency is what, bacha party? Frequency is 1 by t, that is time period. Velocity C is equal to frequency into lambda. Okay, energy of one photon is equal to, as per Planck's constant, or as per Max Planck, this will be equal to H, that is Planck's constant, into frequency. What is the value of Planck's constant? 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule seconds. Okay. Okay, wave number we have seen, wave number is equal to 1 by lambda. Wave number is 1 by lambda. So these are certain formulas that you need to keep in mind. Velocity of light will be equal to lambda, that is wavelength of light, into its frequency. Max Planck equation is energy of light emitted is equal to h, that is Planck's constant, into frequency, and wave number is equal to reciprocal of wavelength. Wave number is 1 by lambda. Okay. Okay. Speed of electromagnetic radiations is equal to speed of light in vacuum. So speed of electromagnetic radiations is equal to speed of light in vacuum, which is roughly 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Clear hai bhai sahab? Okay. So radiotherapy or radiation therapy or teletherapy, what is this? External beam radiotherapy is the most common form of radiotherapy. Okay. Now what is this? Radiotherapy, also known as radiation oncology. Radiotherapy or therapeutic radiology is used for ionizing radiation, high energy radiation that displaces electrons from atoms and molecules to destroy cancer cell. Okay. So you must have seen that people who are getting into cancer treatment, they are given radiations if it is curable by radiation. Cancer has different stages. Okay. So at a particular stage, if it is treatable, they are given radiations, and these radiations are very painful in the sense that they will cause a lot of irritation. Okay. So these radiations obviously are invisible, but at the same time they have a lot of after effects as well. So this therapy is, whenever people are undergoing cancer treatment, there's a lot that goes along with them. Their emotional, or rather their pressure or mental pressure is too much because of these radiations. Because these radiations, they fall on the cells which are causing cancer, they knock off the electrons, and then the cells become ionized. So they are not going to behave in the same way. What is happening here is radiation therapy, also known as radiation oncology. Oncology means cancer treatment. Okay. Radiotherapy or therapeutic radiology is used for ionizing radiation. These are high energy radiation that displace. They strike, and when they are striking at a very high speed. So when they are striking atoms, they are striking at a very high speed, which tosses off the electrons from them. Okay. Tosses off the electrons, displaces electrons from atoms to destroy cancer cells, and hence cancer cells are destroyed. Okay. So we don't have to go deep into this, but just understand that radiotherapy, what is radiotherapy? Therapy means a sort of we see treatment. Okay. A treatment to cure. So obviously cancer obviously has no answer in form of drugs, but this is the only answer that we have. Okay. Cobalt therapy is the medical use for gamma rays from radioisotope cobalt-60 to treat conditions such as cancer. Okay. Many a times, if our body has got a tumor at some part, we are not able to locate it. We are not able to locate it by X-rays. Maybe we are not able to locate it by anything else. Then what the doctor will actually give the patient a cobalt injection. Now this cobalt will actually go through his entire body. See, when the tests are conducted, that is confirmed that some part of the body is actually having this tumor, but which part we don't know. Okay. So the doctor actually gives a cobalt injection. Now this cobalt is basically a radioactive isotope. It will circulate through the blood, and wherever it will stop, okay, there is a tumor out there. So we can basically locate where that cobalt is stopping by the radiations it emits. जो radiation वो emit करता है, we can understand that here it is stopping, and hence the tumor must be located there, and hence the doctor operates there. Okay. So many times cobalt therapy is the medical use of gamma rays. Actually, what are gamma rays? Gamma rays are neutral rays. Okay. Gamma rays are neutral rays. Actually radiations में, ठीक है, radiations में आपके primarily 3 rays use होते हैं. One is alpha rays. Alpha rays carry 2 units of positive charge. Then we have beta rays. Beta rays basically carry 1 unit of negative charge. And then we have finally gamma rays. Gamma rays are neutral rays. They do not carry any charge. Okay. So these are the 3 types of rays that we have generally, that we use from radioactive or radiations: alpha, beta and gamma rays. Okay. Okay. So finding energy of a wave from frequency. Let's say calculate energy of 1 mole of photons. I have already explained to you what is 1 mole. 1 mole is nothing but Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Whether it is 1 mole of students, 1 mole of flats, 1 mole of roads, whatever, it will be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Okay. So here we have 1 mole of photons from a radiation of frequency this much. Okay. So here what is given to you? Frequency. Frequency is given as how much? 5 into 10 raised to 14 hertz. 5 into 10 raised to 14 hertz, that's the frequency that is given. So you have to calculate the energy of 1 mole of photons. You have to basically calculate the energy. Okay, energy of 1 photon is how much? Energy of 1 photon, bacha padi, this is basically h into frequency. So energy of 1 mole of photons will be how much? Energy of 1 mole of photons will be equal to Na, that is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 h into frequency. So this will be 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 into, this is basically 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34. Okay, and then we have frequency. Frequency is how much? 5 into 10 raised to 14. So this entire thing will be there, and this energy will be expressed in joules. Okay, so let's say this is joule seconds. This is how much? Per second. Sorry, this is joule seconds. Okay, this has no unit. This is per second. So second and second gets cancelled. So this will be the amount of energy, that is 33.13 into 10 raised to minus 20 joules. This will be the energy of 1 mole of photons. Okay, finding energy of 1 mole of photons. So energy of 1 mole of photons will be Na, that is Avogadro's number, into E. E is what? Energy of 1 mole. E is what? H into V. So this will be approximately 119.5 kilojoules per mole, or 119.5 into 10 raised to 3 joules per mole. Okay, are we clear on this one, people? Okay. A 25 watt bulb emits monochromatic yellow light of wavelength 0.57 micrometer. So wavelength given here is how much? 0.57 micrometer, which means 0.57 into 10 raised to minus 6 meter. This is basically what, bacha body? This is the wavelength. This is the wavelength. Okay, so the given wavelength is how much? 0.57 into 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, calculate the rate of emission in quanta per second. Rate of emission in quanta per second. Now understand this, people. What is emission? So energy is equal to what? In quanta per second. So rate of emission आपको निकालना है यहाँ पे, ठीक है? First of all, find the energy. Energy is what? H into frequency. Now frequency is not given here, but we know C is equal to lambda into frequency. So frequency, in place of frequency we can write velocity of light into upon lambda. So replacing this frequency by C by lambda. So energy will be how much? H, that is Planck's constant, into C by lambda. Are we getting this? This will be energy. This will be energy, Hc by lambda. Okay. So if we happen to place the values here, so this will be E is equal to H, that is 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 into 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon this is given as 0.57 into 10 raised to minus 6. So this is going to be how much? 3.487 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. This is energy of 1 photon. Okay, energy of 1 photon is how much? H into frequency. That's what we have calculated. Obviously we didn't have a direct frequency out here, so we have to use this. C is equal to lambda into frequency, so frequency is equal to C by lambda. Are we clear to this one, people? Okay, so this will be okay. So now a 25 watt bulb emits monochromatic yellow light. So 25 watt bulb means how much energy? Watt means what? Watt. W-A-T-T. W-A-T-T is basically joules per second. Okay? So what is the amount of energy it is emitting? 25 joules per second. If I say 25 watt bulb, it means the energy emitted is 25 joules per second. 25 joules per second. Okay? So the rate of emission of photons per second will be how much? Energy per second upon energy of 1 photon. What is the energy of 1 photon that you have calculated? What is it that you have to calculate? Calculate the rate of emission in quanta per second. Quanta means photon. Quanta means photon. So this is basically number of photons per second. Total energy is what? This much. So in 1 second, the total energy emitted by the bulb is how much? 25 joules. Okay, and what is the per second? This is basically energy by 1 photon. 1 photon energy. is how much? This is 3.487 into 10 raised to minus 19 joules. Okay, one photon. This is in 1 second and this is 1 photon. So how many photons are emitted? देखो ये टोटल एनर्जी है और ये एक फोटोन की एनर्जी है, ये टोटल एनर्जी पर सेकेंड है, समझो इस चीज को. दिस इज टोटल एनर्जी पर सेकेंड एंड दिस इज द एनर्जी ऑफ वन फोटोन. सो हाउ मेनी फोटॉन्स पर सेकेंड विल इट रिलीज? दिस अपॉन दिस. ठीक है, सो देयरफॉर फोटॉन्स और क्वांटा per second will be how much? 25 total energy upon one photon का energy, 3487 into 10 raised to minus 19. So that will be approximately 7.17 into 10 raised to 19 per second. So these are the number of photons emitted per second. Are we understanding this, people? We have calculated the total energy of a 25 watt bulb, which is 25 joules per second. Now the second thing that we are calculating is how much of energy, how many photons. So there are so many joules, okay, or one photon has this much of energy. So पहला तो हमने निकाला कि कितना टोटल एनर्जी है, एक फोटोन का कितना एनर्जी है. सो हाउ मेनी नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स, समझ में आएगा? ठीक है, सो द नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स विल बी दिस, दीज नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स आर एमिटेड पर सेकेंड. क्लियर है? आर वी क्लियर ऑन दिस वन, पीपल? ओके, हाउ मेनी फोटॉन्स ऑफ वेवलेंथ 4000, ये पिकोमीटर है. ठीक है, picometer means what, बच्चा बाड़ी? 1 picometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 12 meters. Are we clear on this one? ठीक है, okay. How many photons of wavelength 4000 picometer are needed to supply 1 joule of energy? 1 joule of energy के लिए कितना भाई साहब लगेगा? ठीक है, how many are basically required? Clear? Okay, so अभी देखो यहाँ पे lambda क्या दिया हुआ है? Lambda is equal to how much? 4000 picometer, which means how much? 4 into 10 raised to 3 into 10 raised to minus 12 meters. So that will be how much? 4 into 10 raised to minus 9 meter. Okay, this will be lambda. Okay, so what is energy of one photon? Energy of one photon, that will be equal to hc by lambda. hc by lambda, h is how much? 626 into 10 raised to minus 34 into 3 into 10 raised to 8 upon lambda is how much? 4 into 10 raised to minus 9. ठीक है, so this comes out to be how much? 4.96 into 10 raised to minus 17 joules. This is the energy of one photon. Are we clear? यहाँ पे wavelength of given photon is how much? So what is the energy of one photon? ठीक है, okay. Are needed to supply how many photons? तो एक फोटोन आपका कितना एनर्जी दे रहा है? इतना. आपको कितना चाहिए? 1 जूल ऑफ एनर्जी चाहिए, तो उसके लिए कितना फोटॉन्स लगेगा? सो देयरफॉर नंबर ऑफ फोटॉन्स रिक्वायर्ड विल बी इक्वल टू 1 जूल अपॉन दिस मच, 4.96 इंटू 10 रेज टू माइनस 17. इतने फोटॉन्स लग जाएंगे. क्या ये समझ में आ रहा है? द एनर्जी ऑफ वन फोटोन इज दिस मच and the total energy that you require is 1 joule. So how many photons would you require? The total energy upon 4.96 into 10 raised to minus 17. Are we clear on this one? Okay, so that will be approximately this much, 2.016 into 10 raised to 16 photons. Okay. चलो भाई साहब, मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन है, MCQ फटाफट होना चाहिए. The value of Planck's constant यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34. The speed of light is 3 into 10 raised to 17. ध्यान दीजिएगा वहाँ पे क्या दिया हुआ है? 3 into 10 raised to 8 होता है. यहाँ पे क्या दिया हुआ है? 3 into 10 raised to 17 नैनोमीटर पर सेकेंड. नैनो मीन्स 10 raised to minus 9. तो 10 raised to minus 9 into 10 raised to 17 कितना हो जाएगा? 10 raised to 8. 17 minus 9 तो 8 हो जाएगा भाई साहब. ठीक है, ओके. सो भाई एक ही बात है. Which value closest to the wavelength in nanometers of the quantum of light with frequency of 6 into 10 raised to 15 per second? चलिए ट्राई कीजिए फटाफट. ओ ड्राइंग, डन डन डन। अरे भाई साहब देखो, not all information that is given can be used. Okay, so what all information that you have been given here? H is equal to 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule seconds हो गया, ठीक है? Okay, speed of light c is given as 3 into 10 raised to 17 nanometer per second, ठीक है? And which value is closest to the wavelength of a quantum of light? यहाँ पे frequency दी हुई है, frequency is 6 into 10 raised to 15 per second. Okay, so यहाँ पे you have to calculate wavelength, you have to calculate the wavelength, right? Which value is closest to the wavelength in nanometers. Okay, so भाई ये h की जरूरत नहीं है हमको, क्योंकि we know that c is equal to lambda into frequency. So if we happen to calculate lambda, it will be c by frequency. c की वैल्यू कितनी हो गई? 3 into 10 raised to 17 नैनोमीटर पर सेकेंड, और v की वैल्यू कितनी हो गई? 6 इंटू 10 रेज टू 15 पर सेकेंड। ये दोनों आपके कैंसिल हो गए, 3 1 3 3 2 6, तो ये हो गया आपका कितना? 0.5 इंटू 10 रेज टू 17 माइनस 15, दैट इज 10 रेज टू 2 नैनोमीटर्स, 10 रेज टू 2 नैनोमीटर्स, सो दैट विल बी हाउ मच? 50 नैनोमीटर्स। दैट इज द आंसर, खत्म, ठीक है? So maybe this portion of the सवाल that was given to you has not been used, ठीक है? आपको यहाँ पे simple lambda को calculate करना है, which can very easily be calculated. Sometimes too much of information that is given might not be used and it's there for a purpose to confuse you. Okay, okay. Calculate the energy in joules corresponding the wavelength of light 45 nanometer. 45 nanometer पे कितना energy हो जाएगा, ठीक है? कॉरेस्पॉन्ड, तो यहाँ पे आपको लैम्डा कितना दिया हुआ है? लैम्डा इज 45 नैनोमीटर। ओके, प्लैंक्स कांस्टेंट आपको दिया हुआ है, दिस इज 6.63 इंटू 10 रेज टू माइनस 34 जूल्स सेकेंड। स्पीड ऑफ लाइट इज गिवन एज 3 इंटू 10 रेज टू 8 मीटर पर सेकेंड। आर वी क्लियर ऑन दिस वन पीपल? ठीक है, ओके। सो कैलकुलेट द एनर्जी इन जूल कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग टू द लाइट। सो व्हाट विल बी द एनर्जी? Energy will be equal to hc by lambda. Energy will be equal to hc by lambda. Are we clear? Okay, so let's look at this hc by lambda. So that will be h is 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34. C has got a value of 3 into 10 raised to 8, and again lambda is how much? 45 nanometers. So let's express this as 45 into 10 raised to minus 9 meters. Okay, so energy will be how much? 3 1 3 3 15 15 4 60, and we have 63 15 4 60, and then 15 2 30. Okay, now let's look at this. So this is 0.442 into 10 raised to minus 34 plus 8 plus 9, 8 plus 9 17, minus 34 plus 17 is minus 17, so that will be 10 raised to minus 17. 0.442 into 10 raised to minus 17, push this here and increase this to 10 raised to minus 18, so that will be 4.42 into 10 raised to minus 18 joules. Are we clear? Are we clear on this one people? So we have used the Max Planck equation of H energy is equal to, actually energy is what? H into frequency. Now since frequency is not known here, so we know that C is equal to lambda into frequency. So obviously frequency will be equal to C by lambda. So here we can put as HC by lambda. Are we clear? Clear on this one? बहुत बढ़िया. Okay. So identifying the isotope used in cancer treatment, just now we have seen that the isotope which is used is cobalt isotope. Okay, neither iodine, not phosphorus, nor not deuterium, it is basically cobalt. So cobalt is the isotope which is used for cancer treatment. Okay, okay, so now we have seen, or we have basically examined that there is a phenomena of wave nature of light, that light has basically got a wave nature. Now we'll examine the phenomena of particle nature of light. Okay, so what is particle nature of light? So what have we learned already so far? We have learned what is dual nature of light. Okay, what is quantum theory of light? Dual nature means that it has got particle as well as wave nature. Okay, what is quantum theory of light? To, in a nutshell, it is what? H into frequency, Max Planck. Energy is equal to H into frequency. This is all that you need to know for quantum theory of light. Okay, okay, corpuscular theory of light, it was given by Newton. Okay, and electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation, now we are going to consider the particle theory of light. Okay, so as I said, there was a group of scientists that was inclined to believe that light travels, or light is basically behaving like a particle, light or electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so Newton happens to give his corpuscular theory of light, and there are others who follow. Okay, so what are the, we are going to learn Planck's quantum theory, black body radiation, and photoelectric effect. All these are basically what? All these are confirming particle nature of light. All these bacha party are confirming particle nature of light. All these are confirming particle nature of light. Are we clear on this one? Okay. So let's move on, people. The wave nature of light was unable to explain certain behavior. So wave nature has its limitations, such as black body radiation and photoelectric effect. The occurrence of such phenomena can be justified by considering the particle nature of light, and that's the reason light or electromagnetic radiation has two features. One is wave and the other one is particle nature. Okay, so black body radiation or basically your photoelectric effect are phenomena of electromagnetic radiation which cannot be explained by wave theory. They can only be explained by particle theory. So light, or rather electromagnetic radiation, has both the features, particle as well as wave theory. Okay, so the occurrence or phenomena can be justified by considering the particle nature of light. According to this theory, light is not continuous and consists of discrete packets of energy known as photon. So light is basically, light contains discrete matlab discontinuous, discrete packets of energy, and these bacha party are known as photons. Okay, light is basically made up of discrete packets of energy, and these are known as photons. Max Planck's quantum theory is used to explain the particle nature of light. So Max Planck's quantum theory is basically used to explain the particle nature of light. Okay, so a black body is usually referred to a body which can emit as well as absorb radiations of all frequencies. For example, let's say in summer seasons, they will advise you not to wear black clothes. Okay, because black body absorbs radiations. Just as it absorbs radiations, it emits radiations as well. Okay, so black body is a body which is absorbing radiations and it emits radiations as well. So a black body is what, bacha body? A black body is usually referred to a body which can emit as well as absorb radiation. So it emits radiations as well as absorbs radiations. The radiation emitted by such a black body is known as black body radiation. So whenever a black body, so an incident radiation which is falling on a black body is absorbed, and at the same time it emits all possible radiations. Okay, it absorbs as well as emits radiations. Are we clear on this one? Okay, so the sun is an example of near perfect natural black body. Okay, so black body radiations होते कैसे हैं देखो. So यहाँ पे आए भाई साहब, ठीक है, all these are radiations, ये पूरे radiations, और sun जो है आपका एक black body radiation है, ठीक है. Sun is basically a near perfect natural black body. So these are radiations which are colliding and finally moving out. Okay, so what is a black body radiation? A black body radiation can only be explained by particle nature. The intensity versus frequency curve, also known as exact frequency distribution of the emitted radiation from a black body, depends only on its temperature. Okay, look at this. This is basically intensity and this is wavelength. Okay, this is intensity and this is wavelength. You will see different colors here, which is nothing but Vibgyor. Okay, so if you see the intensity versus frequency, this is intensity, and you have plotted the wavelength here, or you can say frequency as well, because it is correlated to, because frequency is what? Eventually C by lambda. So here you have plotted lambda. So intensity versus wavelength or frequency is known as the exact frequency distribution. The emitted radiation from a black body depends only on its temperature. The radiation that is emitted from a black body will depend only on its temperature. Okay. Intensity can be defined as a rate of energy emitted per unit area, or the total number of photons emitted per unit time. Total number of photons emitted per unit time. At a given temperature, intensity of radiation emitted by a black body increases with a decrease in wavelength. So if there is a decrease in wavelength, the intensity increases. Okay, reaches a maximum value at a certain wavelength and then start decreasing with further decreasing wavelength. So this is how the wavelengths would look like. This is how the graph will actually look like. Plot of intensity versus wavelength. Okay, these are temperatures: 7,000 Kelvin, 6,000 Kelvin, 5,000 Kelvin, 4,000 Kelvin. So it will reach a peak and then start descending. Every time, for all temperatures. See, look at this. This is basically the curve for 4,000 Kelvin. This is the curve for 5,000 Kelvin. This is the curve for 6,000 Kelvin. This is the curve for 7,000 Kelvin. So for all temperatures, there will be a maximum point reached and then it will start descending. Intensity can be defined. So at a given temperature, so this is basically the curve, this curve that you see is basically the curve for 7,000 Kelvin. This curve that you see is basically the curve for 6,000 Kelvin. Okay. So at a given temperature, the intensity of radiation emitted by a black body increases with a decrease in wavelength. So there is basically increase and decrease in wavelength, reaches a maximum value at a certain wavelength and then starts decreasing with further decrease in wavelength. Okay. So that's how the entire plot is. Okay. What we need to understand here is behavior of the intensity to wavelength curve can also be explained by quantization of energy. As the intensity does not follow a smooth curve as the temperature increases, as predicted by classical physics, thus energy could be gained or lost only in integral multiples of small quantity known as quantum. So that is what Max Planck proposed, that E is equal to h frequency. Energy can be absorbed. So this is one quantum. Okay, energy is basically an integral multiple of h into frequency. Energy is an integral multiple of h into frequency. Max Planck quantum theory could explain this variation intensity with wavelength. Okay, so what are the points that we need to know about Planck's equation? Okay, the radiant energy is emitted or absorbed in the form of small. तो जो भी black body है या जो भी body है जो absorb कर रही है या emit कर रही है radiation, whatever radiation is getting absorbed or emitted, that will always be small discrete packets of energy and not in continuous manner. All these are basically small discrete packets of energy and these are not continuous. These are not continuous. Each such packet is known as quantum. Okay, in case of light, the quantum of energy is called a photon. So in case of light, we will call it as a photon. Are we clear on this one, people? Okay. The energy is equal to how much? H into frequency, where h is a Planck's constant. This is one quantum. This is one quantum of energy. Okay. Just one moment. Okay, the total amount of energy emitted or absorbed is given as NH into V. N हो गया आपका number of photons. एक photon का भाई साहब, this is basically for one photon. For one photon it is h into frequency. For n number of photons it will be n into h into v. और n की वैल्यू कभी भी 0, 1, 2 ही होगी. n की वैल्यू कभी भी 0, 1, 2 ही होगी. 1.5, 2.5, 2.3 minus 1.2 ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा. Are we clear on this one people? This is Max Planck. आपको ब्लैक बॉडी रेडिएशन को डीपली नहीं समझना है, फिलहाल इतना ही समझना है कि if I apply Max Planck's quantum theory, it means that energy of radiation is emitted in discrete packets, and this is basically E is equal to h into v. Okay. Okay. Characteristics of photon. Energy of a photon is given by E is equal to h into frequency or hc by lambda. ठीक है. So this is basically E is equal to h into frequency or hc by lambda. All photons travel with the speed of light, that is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second in a vacuum. Photons are electrically neutral and are not affected by electric and magnetic fields. So photons are electrically neutral, which means that the electromagnetic radiation or light के जो packets हैं, they are not electrically charged. Okay, they are not electrically charged. They are not affected by electric and magnetic fields. Neither they are positive nor they are negative. So light is made up of small discrete packets of energy which is known as photons, and these photons are neutral in nature. So they will not obviously be impacted by any electrical or magnetic field within which they are placed. Okay, all right. Photons have zero mass and zero energy at rest. So zero mass and zero energy at rest. Okay, clear. No energy at rest. Okay. So these are basically points that we need to know. Okay, characteristics of a photon. Photon will be E is equal to h into v hc by lambda. All photons travel with the speed of light. Photons are electrically neutral and are not affected by electric and magnetic fields. Photons have zero mass and zero energy at rest. Okay. चलिए भाई साहब आगे चलते हुए. Intensity increases with an increase in temperature, that is directly proportional. तो the intensity of emitted radiation, the intensity of emitted or absorbed radiation will increase with increase in temperature. So intensity directly increases with temperature. If you increase the temperature, the number of radiations emitted will increase. Radiations will increase. Okay. So intensity increases with an increase in temperature, that is directly proportional. So intensity is directly proportional to temperature. Light can be quantified as discrete packets of energy known as photons. So light can be quantified as discrete packets of energy known as photons. Planck's quantum theory relates energy with frequency. So Planck's quantum theory, E is equal to h into frequency. Okay. So Planck's constant has units angular momentum. Units of angular momentum. Okay. Now what is angular momentum? Angular momentum is m into v into r. For example, any body which is actually performing a circular motion. So let's say the radius here, let's say this is basically the radius of the circle, and let's say this is a body of mass m moving with a velocity v. Body of mass m moving with a velocity v. So angular momentum is equal to m into v into r. This is angular momentum. Okay. You have understood or you have actually learnt about linear momentum. Linear momentum is what? M into v. But angular momentum is what? M into v into r. Okay. This is angular momentum. So angular momentum, इसको लिख लीजिए. Planck's constant are units of angular momentum. That is joules per second. ओके एंगुलर मोमेंटम भाई साहब आपको क्या MVR, आर वी क्लियर 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 ओके। तो अभी हम बात करेंगे भाई साहब फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट की। व्हाट इज बेसिकली फोटो इलेक्ट्रिक इफेक्ट? एन एक्सपेरिमेंट परफॉर्म बाय H. Hertz in 1887 show that when certain metals like potassium, rubidium, cesium were exposed to a beam of light, so let's say ये metal है, ठीक है, this is basically a metal। हमने यहाँ पे क्या किया है देखो, there is a battery, so this is basically a metal, we have connected the metal to the negative terminal of the battery and this is obviously the positive terminal, so there will be more of electrons out here। नेगेटिव टर्मिनल से अगर हमने बैटरी को कनेक्ट किया है, नेगेटिव टर्मिनल से अगर हमने मेटल को कनेक्ट किया है, कोई इलेक्ट्रिसिटी फ्लो नहीं हो रही है, अंडरस्टैंड, देयर इज नो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी दैट इज फ्लोइंग बिकॉज दिस सर्किट इज इनकम्प्लीट। हाउएवर वी हैव केप्ट एन ओपनिंग हियर, ओके, फॉर लाइट टू फॉल ऑन इट, ओके। सो व्हाट आर द मेटल्स दैट वर यूज्ड? पोटेशियम, रुबिडियम एंड सीजियम। An experiment performed by H. Hertz in 1887 showed that when certain metals like potassium, rubidium or cesium were exposed to a beam of light, electrons were ejected from them. So what do we see? There is a beam of light falling and we see that there are electrons which are emitted, okay. So experimental setup for demonstrating photoelectric effect. So we're exposed to a beam of light, electrons were ejected from them, experimental setup for a, तो अब जैसे इलेक्ट्रॉन्स एमिट हुए, देखो यहाँ पे दिस इज अ मेटल विच इज कनेक्टेड टू द नेगेटिव टर्मिनल, सो obviously being connected to the negative terminal it will have an excess of electrons। when a beam of light is falling on it, it's like billiards, या आप जब कैरम खेलते हैं, ठीक है, so one ball is hitting the other one, okay, so the electrons or rather the photons are neutral in character, they will hit the electron and the electrons will be emitted, so these electrons will be emitted and they will basically pass on to the other one and you will see that there is the light glows, okay, light is glowing not because the circuit is completed, the circuit is already broken, but light is glowing because these electrons which are emitted travel all the way, because now these are free electrons, so they will complete the circuit in air and that's how the electric bulb will glow. This is due to photoelectric effect, okay. So when certain metals like potassium, rubidium etc. were exposed to a beam of light, electrons were ejected, so these electrons were ejected from them and these electrons basically completed. So you see this is ammeter which is showing a zero deflection. Ammeter is used to measure current, okay, shows a zero deflection, but when electrons are actually traveling it will show. So see, this path was incomplete, the circuit was incomplete here, it is rather a broken circuit, ये complete circuit है ही नहीं, but with the evolution of electrons these electrons will now move on to this, because obviously बात है कि ये positive है, electrons will get attracted towards, so air में ही एक circuit complete हो जा रहा है जिसके वजह से this electric bulb will glow and the moment it glows it confirms that electricity is flowing through, okay. So this is basically an experimental setup for photoelectric effect. Are we clear on this one, people? Clear clear clear, okay. So this confirms photoelectric effect. So what do you conclude from a photoelectric effect? That when light of a certain frequency is made to fall on a metal, it will emit electrons when light of a certain frequency, and this certain frequency is known as threshold frequency. For every metal there will be a certain threshold frequency, एक minimum रहेगा, that is the frequency that you need to cover, only then the electrons will be emitted. So when light of a certain frequency is made to fall on the surface of a metal, it will start emitting electrons and this emitting of electrons is basically known as photoelectric effect. Now understand, photo means light, electric means the electric circuit is getting completed. Why? Because electrons are getting emitted. So this is known as photoelectric effect. Due to light there is a photoelectric effect. Are we clear on this one? Okay, so this is called photoelectric effect. The phenomena of ejection of electrons when a light of certain frequency, इसी certain frequency को अपन क्या बोलते हैं? Threshold frequency, okay, certain frequency. So this is basically light of a certain frequency which is being made to fall on the metal surface. On the metal surface the electrons are emitted. Now since electrons are negatively charged particles, it's obvious that they will get attracted towards the positive electrode. Once they get attracted towards the positive electrode, in air or in this basically gap the circuit is completed and this flows, okay. So the phenomena of ejection of electrons when a light of certain frequency strikes the metal surface is known as photoelectric effect. This is known as photoelectric effect. The experiment by Hertz has three important observations. What are they? Okay, so there is a discharge tube, okay, there is a cathode, see you have connected this to a negative electrode, which means that here there will be an excess of electrons. Okay, this is basically the anode. Okay, so obviously cathode and anode, you are making light fall on this metal surface, it will emit electrons. Electrons are negatively charged. It's but obvious that once they are free from the metal surface, they will flow towards the positively charged cathode. So in this space in between the anode and the cathode, there is a free flow of electrons. The electrons are directed in a particular direction, and since they are directed and they are moving, obviously there will be electricity. Okay, there will be electricity and the bulb will glow. Okay, so we can measure the electricity. The experiment by H. Hertz has three important observations. What are these observations, bacha body? Okay, there is a deflection in the emitter indicating a flow of current as the beam of light strikes the metal surface. So there is definitely just one moment, people. ठीक है, so there is deflection in the emitter indicating flow of current as the beam of light strikes the metal surface. So light rays are striking and the electrons are getting emitted. Light rays, which consist of what? Photons. Light rays consist of photons. They are striking the metal surface, emitting electrons. These are basically electrons that are getting emitted. Okay, the current flow in the circuit as indicated through emitter reading increases with the intensity or brightness of the light. So the more intense the light is, more will be the electrons that will be emitted and the current flow will increase. Okay, photoelectric emission observed only if the frequency of incident radiation is above a certain value. If there is a certain value of frequency, मतलब frequency क्या हो जाता है भाई साहब, एक particular frequency के ऊपर, ठीक है, above a certain frequency, above a certain frequency, and this is basically what? This is basically what? Threshold frequency. This is threshold frequency. Above a certain frequency, and this is threshold frequency. Okay, based on the above observations, the following conclusions were made. The electrons are ejected as soon as the beam of light strikes the metal surface, that is there is no time lag. Okay, as soon as the beam of light strikes the metal surface, that is there is no time lag between the striking of the beam and the ejection of electrons. Okay, फट से गिरेगा और फट से निकलेगा, ये ऐसा नहीं कि 2 घंटे बाद. ठीक है, the moment a particular light ray of a certain frequency is made to fall on a metal surface, you will find that electrons are getting emitted. So it's an instant phenomena. Okay, it's not a phenomena which is going to take time, it's an instant phenomena which will happen. Okay, the number of electrons ejected are proportional to the intensity or brightness of light. So more is the intensity or brightness, the more will be the electrons that will be emitted. So if we increase the intensity or brightness, the number of ejected electrons would also increase. Okay, for a metal there is a frequency that is called threshold frequency, below which no photoelectric emission takes place. So let's say this is basically a threshold frequency. Threshold frequency. Now understand this, people. Okay, let's say यहाँ पे E is equal to H into threshold frequency. आप कोई ऐसी लाइट डाल रहे हो जिसकी वैल्यू, तो threshold frequency generally represented by this V naught. Okay, so this is how threshold frequency is represented. Okay, so let's say this is a metal surface and you are making light fall on it. You are making light fall on it. This light has basically an energy of, ठीक है, or let's say metal has a frequency. This is the threshold frequency, and if this threshold frequency is more than this, no photoelectric effect will be observed. No photoelectric effect will be absorbed. Are we clear? Will be absorbed. Okay, when V naught becomes to the incident frequency, that is now the electrons will be pulled out. So you need a certain, now what will happen, now let's say your V, this is equal to E is equal to H into frequency, and this is V naught, so frequency and this becomes equal. So now you can say that photoelectric effect starts. photoelectric effect starts. Clear? Clear, clear, clear. Okay, okay, okay. So now the photoelectric effect starts. Are we clear on this one, people? ठीक है. अभी अगर और ज़्यादा इसको increase करना है, ठीक है. So if we have to increase this, so यहाँ पे let's say this is E is equal to H into frequency, और यहाँ पे आपका भाई साहब V नॉट है. नाउ लेट्स से आपने V को ज़्यादा कर दिया V नॉट से, तो अभी ये एक एनर्जी लेकर बाहर निकलेंगी. पहले तो क्या हो रहे थे, ये फ्लोट कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, ठीक है. एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम दे आर फ्लोटिंग ऑन द सर्फेस ऑफ द मेटल. नाउ इफ योर इंसिडेंट रे H, this is more than the threshold energy that you require, okay, so there will be a kinetic energy. See, this is basically incident ray ka energy, and this is basically the threshold energy. So E minus E naught will be the kinetic energy of the electrons that will be emitted. Are we understanding? ठीक है. पहले आपने एक ऐसा फ्रीक्वेंसी यूज किया जिसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी थ्रेशोल्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी से लेस है, so you would see no emission. Now you used a frequency, इंसिडेंट रे का जो फ्रीक्वेंसी है वो थ्रेशोल्ड फ्रीक्वेंसी के साथ मैच कर रही है. Then you will see that the electrons will float on the surface of the metal. They will be emitted, but they will not flow with an energy. Now if you make an incident light having energy more than the, or rather this frequency is more than the threshold frequency, then what will happen, these electrons will now have a kinetic energy of their own. How will you calculate the kinetic energy? This E is basically what? Incident ray energy. This is basically the threshold energy, and this is the kinetic energy. So the difference in these two energies will give the kinetic energy of the emitted electrons. E is basically the incident light energy, incident light energy, okay. E naught is basically what? E naught is threshold energy, threshold energy, and Ke is what? Kinetic energy, kinetic energy of emitted electron, kinetic energy of emitted electron. Clear है? Are we clear on this one, people? Okay, okay, okay.